Hey, Phoenix is Rising Academy, Coach T here. And I am opening up a weekly workshop space called The Phoenix Awakening, especially for Black women who are ready to get unstuck and step into their power. We'll be working straight from my workbook, going through the same material every Saturday and Sunday. It's only $25 per 90-minute session. You can come to one or you can book both. You'll receive a $5 discount, whatever works for you. This is a safe space for real talk, nervous system healing, and rising up from whatever's been holding you back. If you're feeling the call, Phoenixes, send me a message and I'll get you the details. From the ashes we rise, from the soul we lead. This is Coach T, and I love you. What I need my phoenixes to understand is that when you're dealing with faith and you're struggling with your faith and you're thinking that you have patterns that are repeating themselves again, these are not patterns that are repeating themselves again in you, but in what is around you. Okay. Now listen closely because I'm not, it's not, and look it up if you need to, or in this may split your noodle and go and cause you to go into cognitive dissonance. That's okay. Just file it for later when you're ready for it. But we live amongst spiritual entities. Okay. We live a disembodied fragmented spirit is what? A demon. Okay. A disembodied fragmented spirit with a host is still a demon. These are people that have fragmented themselves, fragmented their consciousness, and it's nothing wrong with astral projecting or whatever or traveling. What the problem comes in when you are a toxic individual, you are a toxic soul from your core, right? This is why we say cluster V personalities are demonically possessed because they are. You're fragmenting. You are a whole cocktail of what is now a demon called psychopathy, a demon called Machiavellianism, a demon called covert narcissism, a demon called malignant narcissism, a demon called uh, 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 sociopathy, right? Okay, so you got all these demons inside of you. Okay, that's what it was. So that's why we always say is because these guys do otherworldly things. It's they throw a tantrum and they go beyond the boundaries. There are obviously boundaries because if there weren't boundaries, we wouldn't be broken by a situation if it didn't cross our boundaries, if it didn't cross that threshold, right? When I go into the gym and I get on the treadmill, this is a healthy example, but I get on the treadmill and I'm like, man, I want to keep running, man. Okay, I'm doing 5 minutes. I've done 5 minutes. I'm gonna push myself another 5 minutes. Let's go. Right? So I'm pushing. I am going beyond my boundaries. Right? Hunter X Hunter, right? When dude, I forget his name, so put it in the comments. But it's Hunter X Hunter, and it's after old boy's mentor was assassinated by that cat girl. And I know y'all are following me by that cat girl. And he couldn't believe what she was talking about and saying. He was even trying to he was trying to deal with his cognitive dissonance, right? So it had broken the boundary of his psyche. It had broken the boundary of his morals. It had broken the boundaries to his body because he was like, to the point where he had to be reconstructed because what he went through in order to survive this breakdown, this psychological breakdown of witnessing something so horrific that he had no words, right? So and to the he expanded, okay? So and it did damage to him because it wasn't supposed to happen like that, right? It's supposed to have a natural. This dude it was ended up being 50 years old in like 3 seconds. Dig it? So, I mean, and this is an extreme example, but thank you, God, anime. Blessings. Anime has been my best teacher, boy, I tell you. Um, but yeah, so and that is what the but that is what dealing with a psychopath, a sociopath, a somebody who is just devoid. They get off on going to the extent of the pushing the extent of the trauma. I've had people attack my fur babies in the spirit and in the flesh. I've had people try and run me down with a vehicle as I'm crossing the street when it's my turn to go. And there was other people in that crosswalk that they would have hit. But thank God I used my spidey sense, which caused the other person that stopped and which caused the other person to stop so they couldn't stop. And we got a good look at the person doing it. Okay? So it's having said all that, that is what cluster B personalities do, is they push you because they don't want to see you. They want you at your limit so that you are easy to manipulate. Okay? When you are easy to manipulate, that means that you're not going to fight back. That means that you're going to say whatever they want to say. They can dog walk you in your mind from have a psychic tether to you. Okay? And I know that those psychic tethers are real. They're very real. A lot of what when you and hopefully I won't get too far off track, but I want to say this really quickly. I don't remember what Harry Potter movie it was, but when Wardolph or whatever Gandalf, no, not Gandalf, that's Lord of the Rings, but he played in the Lord of the Rings too, and he takes his wand and he takes the memory out, and it comes out as a kind of a jelly kind of strand. Okay, imagine that how that manifests. So that was the manifestation of manifestation of a memory that he wanted to keep, but a memory that he wanted to discard. Right? He was uh how would you say that? He was protecting his Akashic records, I guess, there's another term, but I can't think of it right now. And I don't want this to be too long. So anyway, so imagine though on the dark side of that, on the evil side of that, that you have people who their souls are so corrupt and distorted with lust. Like I've literally seen a lustful demon. I've had that thing drool on me. Drool on me. My seers know what I'm talking about. My fellow seers know what I'm talking about. I have had that thing drool on me. I have had that thing still obsess over me because the whatever quote unquote is stressing or obsessing. So what our thoughts become things is a reality. It just may not be in the realm that we're used to. That's why you have to raise your vibration, right? When I raise my vibration, I can hear what my fur babies are saying and complaining about, right? And so this is like a roller coaster. Anybody can tap in if you want to, right? So, having said all of that, hopefully that makes sense. If not, put something in the comments and we can go over it in a longer live maybe or do a workshop on it. So, having said all that, the reason why your prayers aren't being answered or your manifestations, right? And he said, "Oh, I'm manifesting this, I'm manifesting that." And we have to be a little bit more mature about this, okay? Realistic is that just like in the Bible when it said, the angels would say, "Hey, I've been held up by this principality," that's what's happening because the universe doesn't recognize the energy signature that it's bumping into to get to you, and they're not letting it through, right? They're not letting it through. So, because they see that once you get these blessings, nobody can touch you, right? Nobody can really touch you now. They can ding you, It's depending on how you're what you're how mature you are spiritually and how deep your arsenal goes. My arsenal is underground. You understand me? My psychic arsenal, I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. I even saw a TikTok where two guys, two middle-aged Caucasian guys were talking about psychic warfare and how that is being used right now. Okay, so I know for me personally, brothers and sisters, I know when they start talking about stuff like that, I pay attention because you know what I mean? It's we've already said something about it, but when they're the ones that are kind of like scouring and seeing, right, with all the old records and how can I become powerful and youthful and how can I whatever, right? It's not all sometimes it's not always malicious, sometimes it's just curiosity. But when it starts going in that camp first, I start listening, right? Because I've been many of us have been going through psychic warfare. We just call it spiritual warfare, right? Spiritual spirit is what? Psychic, it's an energy, right? Our energies. Why, if you guys have ever read ElfQuest books like I did, they were trying to make that into a movie. And my gosh, I pray that I become a multi gazillionaire so that I can, finance it for them. Because that would be with the technology and AI right now, boy, that ElfQuest would rock. But yeah, if you do ElfQuest, they were speaking to each other verbally, but also telepathically. And some you had another Cutter was one of the main characters, and Leela was his wife from another tribe, right? And the one that wanted her, I don't think it was her brother. I think it was actually a love interest, and he wanted Leela. And Cutter was like, Cutter was already he had already made his move. He's like, dude, nah, dude, we go, bro. But so the other dude from her tribe was like, "You don't tell me nothing, da 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 da," but he was saying it telepathically, and he was frying Cutter's third eye. Dig it? So, I mean, this stuff come through. Like, that's kind of what saddens me sometimes is because we go through so much spiritual warfare and we say, oh, they've taken up all these years, right? And sometimes, we may not see it, and that can be a reality, but something that they may never stop blocking us, right? Like there's times where I want to give up myself too and not create anything, not do another podcast. I'm being blocked and shadow banned anyway. People, you know what I mean? But I got stalkers on here that are holding negative space, right? They're monitoring spirits. They've become a monitor to my stuff because they don't want stuff getting out or they don't want me getting something that they can't handle because they're afraid of that retribution. They're afraid of that vengeance coming to them. It's already here. You see, they don't understand that. It's weird how you can have people who are well versed as witches and warlocks, but they've chosen the evil side. And they do up until a time they get away with stuff and everything's successful. But it's like you forget though, you're gonna get all that back. It may not be in this timeline, realm, or dimension, right? So anyway, um, so yeah, so telepathically, they're talking about it, which is cool because we've already been going through it. I know I've been going through it, right? When they can't, I've said this before on my channel. When they can't get you in the physical, they go after you in the spiritual, right? Like when they make you homeless, make you jobless, they make you friendless, your family's turned against you. That's all psychic shit. And do you know what I mean? That's psychic slander. You got astral Judases walking around whispering in people's ears, right? Because just like the Most High God uses us, because we are gods ourselves, so they need an instrument to work through, right? Evil needs the same instruments to work through, but the soil is different. The soil is more decayed and rotten because they're feeding off of that. This is what happened to me when I was 5. This is I got abandonment. This person beat me and I didn't recover, right? Or I feel like God was just so all this bitterness just festering, okay? So anyway, but back to the other thing. So your prayers mean it's not that your prayers or your manifestations aren't coming through to fruition. It's that you have the energy. If I again, I'm waiting for a package from UPS, right? So I'm waiting, or yeah, whatever. So I'm waiting for this package. This package, if I don't put in the right coordinates, if it can't tell the right frequency, it's going to go to a place where I already would have been that I surpassed. You dig it? Which is where they are. They're still in the past. Okay. So I have to make sure spiritually, spiritual hygiene, mental hygiene, and then dietary hygiene, right? And because what they will do once you have everything in alignment, which it's not easy to get, but they know the power that comes with that. And they don't want to deal with that because monkey see, monkey do, the 100th monkey thing. Okay. And when I can show you that I can do this, right? I showed them. I got up off the streets when these dudes were trying to unalive me, to take my breath away. And when they couldn't do that, they'd throw a temper tantrum and kill my fur babies. They wanted to overburden me with pain so that I would stop. But I'm the opposite. Many of us are the opposite. I respond to love. I respond to harmony. I respond to, and you don't have to kiss butt or anything like that, but I respond to warmth. I respond to what resonates with the authenticity within me. I'm like a plant. You got to talk to me. You see, you got to talk to me. I'm not going to flourish. I'm going to dry right the hell up, and I do. When I know that there's somebody negative, I shut right down. I'm not giving you anything. Be like, "Hey, what's wrong? Coach T, what's wrong?" Nothing. Deuces, cuz I don't have to tell you nothing. And we're living in a day and age right now where everybody is like coveting everybody else's stuff. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Right? And I don't know if it's some kind, it's more than a trend. And I don't want to, I'm not I like conspiracies because conspiracies usually mean that it's true. I mean that's all, somebody conspired to do this. That's what a conspiracy is. They conspired to do something. To come together and do something. So uh, yeah. So let me stop here because I can keep going. So the basic thing that I wanted to say was your blessings are there. You and it's and I believe it was Yeshua that said to his disciples, these come out only by through prayer and fasting. When you have actually been through warfare, you realize that it's not that they're going to go away completely because of the nature of the demonic entity and how they function. Okay? Some may give up, some may linger, whatever. But this is why you go into prayer, right? You got AI. Tell AI, hey, I want to create a warfare prayer that kind of in the style of Cindy Trim, right? That I can recite every day, dealing with energy vampires, paranormal parasites, because that's basically what it is. When you're a vampire, you're sucking. You're a parasite that's trying to suck. You're like a tick, right? You're having trying to have a parasitic, symbiotic relationship with another person who is actually living their life genuinely and authentically because you were tired of living in the trenches. You see what I'm saying? You're tired of living in the gutter and the slime, but that's all you can do. But you want to do something else because you know that person knows, excuse me, that they know that they missed their chance. And you kept snowballing with bitterness and you didn't want to let it go. Am I mad that they killed my fur baby Prosperity? You bet I am mad. I'm more than mad. It almost took me out. I was so mad. And they scattered. They didn't know. They were like they bragged about it. Many of them bragged about it. Many of them then all of a sudden got self-righteous about my baby dying, as if I had done something I didn't do. You did it. You did it. They did it. But that's the nature. And see, that's when the more information you have about somebody who is harassing you, right? The better. Because then you'll start to see the patterns and you'll start knowing how to maneuver around those patterns and even make their patterns work for you. Okay. So anyway, again, if the divine energy that you have put out, it's not that it's not coming back to you. It's not that it's not there, but you got to go the extra mile now. And it's fortunate because that strengthens your spiritual muscles. You got to go into prayer. In fact, I was praying and fasting. I had a city of witches and warlocks that were after me, that were attacking me. I had people who were just bitter and would try and start stuff because again, monkey see, monkey do. Oh, somebody else did it, so I'm gonna do it. I want to try and see what it's like, right? I got a name for myself because people are like, oh, if you attack her, she's gonna tax that ass. She's gonna cut, and I'm not doing witchcraft at all as they define it. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing rituals. I'm not doing seances like these guys were. I don't have a Santa Muerte statue. I don't have nothing like that. You understand? It's me and me. It's me and my guides. It's me and my ancestors. It's me and my spirit. It's me and my third eye. It's me and my crown. It's me opening all my chakra, right? So, but even when I was fasting like that, I mean, I fasted for a good, when I mean if I'm like intermittent fasting sometimes for 2 or 3 days, if not, a whole week at times, depending on how strong the warfare was, right? So they were still attacking. It wasn't saying that they weren't, but I would still be able to walk through it. It's like Moses parting the Red Sea. We got this obstruction here, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray. I'm going to speak life into myself, into my fur babies, into my kids, into my family, into my job. If I'm not supposed to be here, then I have the clarity and the discernment to see where it is that the Most High God wants to take me next. And please prepare me for it. Make sure that I know exactly what it is I'm supposed to do in a way that you know that I will be, receptive to it. And it never fails. And that's the thing. These guys, these witches and these warlocks get scared because they know that when you get on that frequency, there is no failing, but they don't want you to receive the results of it. So it's petty as all get out, dude. It's petty. But they're gonna block it. They're going to block it because they know that, and even some of them may not even be conscious of it. But God revealed this to me, said it's because the energy signature is being blocked. Your energy signature is being blocked. Do you know that I have a witch now who has been blocking, and stuff still comes in and she gets pissed? Because for me, I've learned many ways to communicate with the universe, many different ways, and for my path. I've learned many different ways to communicate with the universe. So even if I know that they're blocking my crown, right? And I've seen it in the spirit realm. This mug, this so I don't want to get to cussing, but this mug put stakes in my shoulders and then stakes at the top where my crown is. And so to take my confidence and then to try and siphon whatever comes in from the most high. So trying to siphon my downloads. That's I mean, like I've been so blessed to be able to see this so that I can say, no, you're not, you don't have the right. So I reverse it on them. Every time you try and dead my confidence, or you try and take my energy so I don't get my baking done, so I don't get my coursework done, and so I don't promote myself, or so I don't do a video, or so I don't read, or I don't watch this, even taking time for myself, you understand? Then that I said, now it gets enhanced every time. Said, you don't have the authority to try and hear or see or taste or touch. I'm not in your life. You don't have the authority to do anything to me. I'm above your pay grade and you know it. but you're doing this malicious bullcorn, this childish, malicious bullcorn. And I said, so every time you do it, you rot and you decay, but it enhances me in every single way that you're trying to deaden me. And it always works. So you have to, but you have to get to that point of where you know that you know that you know. I've gone through it. I mean, like just like Yeshua went through it, who was a real person, but not, everybody glorified him. And he was like, nah, I can do this. I'm so just like I'm showing you guys. And it is weird because people probably during that day, those times, they were like, ah, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but maybe not because, they didn't have TV and all this other kind of stuff. But, and the enemies have evolved. Every abuser evolves so that they don't have to take accountability, whether that be, being put up all over TikTok or YouTube, or whether that be going to prison, jail, or anything, losing something that because I noticed with these guys, they like to be comfortable. I had somebody telling me that I'm lazy and whatever, but I'm working two jobs and you're getting Social Security disability, which is not a bad thing, but because you could get your butt up and work, you just don't want to. For this person, they don't want to. They want to be served. They're lazy as all get out because all she want to do is witchcraft all day because she gets paid for doing spells and rituals against other people. You see? But I've been the bane of her existence because she's like, my spells always work. Not with me. You mess with the wrong one. But the only thing, but again, also it's God's divine timing because there's coming a time, because you got to understand, we went through a time of 20, 30 years where all this evil was just building and mounting because of the ritual that was done back, with the Twin Towers, because that definitely was a ritual. So, now it's clearing out. You understand? So time's up. This is this clearing out. And so there's divine timing. If you hold that, all you got to do is stay present right now. So it's like, no, they're going to be exterminated because you can't do all that tyrannical evil. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, some of the things that I've seen, family, not okay, Phoenixes, So just hold the line, but no, don't ever give up and say, oh no, this isn't happening. You can think it, but don't sit there and marinate in it because that could be giving a devil, the monitoring spirit, a foothold and be like, oh, I got that energy signature. Now you're sad. What are you sad about? How can I exploit that sadness? You dig it? So don't give up because it's there. It's just that you have a wall of demonic energy signatures that are blocking it. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to go there. God is not going to give what is yours to somebody else. I know you've heard that. God is not going to give what is yours to somebody else, to a wrong number, wrong address, wrong energy signature that hasn't done the work that you've done, right? So so what I'm saying to you is if it's your time, son. That's what we have to understand too. That just dawned on me. Sometimes it's not our time, right? Divine timing goes through all timelines, realms, and dimensions. So sometimes, baby girls, it's not your time. Sometimes you're just the one to set it up. But because we never die, the soul never dies. Okay, well, and that's another subject. But the soul, just to keep with, the soul never dies. So when you come into another lifetime, then hey, you don't have to deal with that, and that. That's not going to happen to you. So then that your stages are higher. Does that make sense? Put in the comments if it makes sense to you, right? Because it's not just about this realm. It's not just about the earth plane. It's about different timelines and dimensions that you reincarnate into. And it's like, okay, I already went through that. Somebody said that I died last time when I was going through this because it's the same energy signature that was the same evil demon that that keeps doing the same shit. You understand? So no, so don't worry about that though, because it'll come. You may not remember it. You may go into a timeline that maybe they do allow you to remember. right? You may go into an atmosphere where you can remember every lifetime that you've ever had. Because I know in this one, they try and take that from you really quick. That's the whole, they break you down from the cradle to the grave. Okay? But don't give up, because if it's your time, just wait, just stand. Paul said, I've done all that I can. So now I'm standing. And standing is I get up in the morning, I do my prayers and meditation, I do my gratitude, I love on my fur babies, I do my walking, you know what I mean? I do my mantra, I do my ads, I do my baking, whatever's in it for the day. And sometimes it's just I'm gonna rest, because when it does come to you, it's gonna be so powerful. And also too, instead of thinking about, "Oh, it's not coming." No, I'm preparing. Ask for wisdom to prepare, right? Ask for the wisdom to be prepared for when this does drop. You already got your holding companies, you already got your trust funds, you already got your land, you already got the tiny home village, you already got the city, you already got the country, you already got the plane. You already got the business plan. You already got the script. You already got the car, the truck, you know what I mean? You already got it. Okay? So that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry it's still long. I'll do this part 1 and part 2, but this is this is part 1. Actually, it might not be part 1 because it's 30 minutes, but I wasn't meaning to go on for this long. But I love you and I care about you. And this is why I coach. Because you know what I mean? This is why I keep persisting that yes, my story matters. Your story matters. You survived, especially the last 20 and 30 years. You survived, especially if you were a black woman. You survived. So don't you dare give up now. All right. I love you. From the ashes, we rise. From the soul, we lead. This is Coach T. Hey, Phoenix is Rising Academy. Coach T here. And I am opening up a weekly workshop space called the Phoenix Awakening, especially for Black women who are ready to get unstuck and step into their power. We'll be working straight from my workbook, going through the same material every Saturday and Sunday. It's only $25 per 90-minute session. You can come to one or you can book both. You'll receive a $5 discount, whatever works for you. This is a safe space for real talk, nervous system healing, and rising up from whatever's been holding you back. If you're feeling the call, Phoenixes, send me a message and I'll get you the details. From the ashes we rise, from the soul we lead. This is Coach T, and I love you.